Welcome back to the Junior B Breakdown, where we took a week off to spend some time with our families, but don't worry, we didn't stray far from the rinks.
Yeah, Dwayne, I think between family dinners and driveway hockey games, I still got in more ice time than most, but we're back, recharged, and ready to go.
Absolutely. And in this week, we're diving into Bison Country, where we got head coach Connor James joining us to talk about his squad's mindset, early season battles, and what's driving the Wainwright locker room.
Then we're joined by Bisons veteran Luke Greenwood, who shares what it means to wear the jersey year after year and the pride that comes with leading by example.
And we'll wrap things up with our Around the League segment, checking in on the latest scores, standout performances, and a few developing stories that are shaping the NEAJBHL season.
Dwayne, it's great to be back. We've got a loaded episode with great guests and great hockey talk.
So grab a coffee, settle in, episode 8 of the Junior B Breakdown.
Let's drop the puck. Well, Dwayne, our first guest this week is leading one of the top performing programs in the Northeast.
Yeah, the Wainwright Bisons have a reputation of a strong system and a strong culture that has been built over many years.
Absolutely. Here's our chat with Bisons head coach, Connor James.
All right, Chet here with head coach Connor James, head coach of the Wainwright Bisons. Thanks for joining me remotely tonight, Connor. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
The Bisons are the last team that we're just delving into, who's the bench boss and everything, and just meeting some of the players. So can you maybe just tell me about how you got into hockey and where you've played hockey? And I've heard that you played some university hockey, and then maybe just tie that into how you became part of the bench team there with the Bisons.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Wainwright, played all my minor hockey growing up in Wainwright. U18, I ended up billeting in Lloyd and playing there. From there, I played some junior A in Spruce Grove, played 3 years there. And then I played 4 years of Division I hockey in the States. And then from there, COVID hit, and like everything, came to a halt. So didn't really know what I was going to do. And I always I skated with Hucks in the summer, and I've known Hucks for far too long. But he always patted in my ear to kind of help out coaching. And then a couple of years ago, I jumped on as an assistant coach with him. And then last year took over as head coach. And then this is my second year as head coach. And I honestly didn't think I would enjoy it as much as I have. I honestly never had coaching in the back of my head when I was playing, none of that. Kind of just joined, like I said, a couple of years ago, and I've really enjoyed it ever since.
So it's kind of nice to come back full circle to your own hometown. And now that you're, leading the team, you still have a strong team with you. If you could just talk to me about, you guys are, third in the league. You still have 3 games at hand, just because of scheduling and things like that. Just tell me overall, how has the season gone so far, and has it met expectations? And maybe just tell me, maybe there's a standout game for you guys so far this season.
I think like any season, right? I don't put a big emphasis or high expectations early on in the season. I think you got to take it kind of game by game, and because things happen. Right now we're battling some injuries as a group. So we're looking for guys to step up here. We got a big game this weekend on Friday against Lloyd. But yeah, like you said, there's kind of we're third place, and we're not too far behind the Lloyd and Burm right now. So every game matters. 2 points on the line every night, they matter. And we were talking in Cold Lake earlier that if you don't show up, the team that shows up is going to get those 2 points. And we learned that the other weekend against Cold Lake.
Yeah, it was an exciting game. And you get the, overtime loss, but it could have gone either way at any time. There's many of those kind of clenching moments. But yeah, it was just one of those dates that nothing was going for anybody. It was hard fought battle, and then it was just ultimately just a chance, a little bit of space there, and that's it. You're going home with a loss in overtime, but still lots of positives. So, maybe we'll flip to that. Lots of positives for the guys. And in terms of the Bisons, are there any, with those injuries and dealing with some of those and wait for some of the guys to come back, are there key areas that you guys are focusing on in preparation for some of the, for a big game coming up this weekend, the things that you are going to want to focus on that'll help you for the rest of the season, or just is it fine tuning?
I think it's more so preparation, just being able to play a full 60 minutes. I think that's been a big highlight of ours this year, is playing for a full 60 minutes. Kind of working towards that. You get in those big time games, you get in towards playoffs, you take 5-10 minutes off those big games, you can find yourself behind and too far behind to dig out of that hole. So I think a big emphasis right now for us is just playing a full 60 minutes.
Now, part of playing a full game is also having some good goaltending, and your goalies have really high save percentages right now. You guys are putting up, some really good numbers. Talk to me about your goaltending so far this year.
I mean, both of them, LJ and Zuby, have been brick walls, and that's definitely not a worry of ours right now. Right now, it makes my job easy. We just been flip flopping back and forth, and like I said, it makes my job easy. So hopefully those guys can keep doing what they're doing. I'm sure they will. But yeah, we definitely got to clean some things up in front of them moving forward. But yeah, the goaltending definitely hasn't been a worry of ours so far this season. There's
a big pedigree of domination in the league over the past 7 or 8 years, and now you guys you're in third place, but you have games at hand, and so the chase is on. Like you said, you're still early in the season, but we're getting to the halfway point. And so can you talk to me about how are some of the maybe some of the new players that are coming into their own this year or contributing to your team?
Yeah, so I think, like you said, we've had success in the past, and the positive with that is you have a bunch of guys that have kind of been there and they've done it, right? So guys that have been around can lead the charge, and those young guys can kind of follow. I mean, it doesn't take a week, 2 weeks for them to figure out. It's going to take a while. But I think a positive with that, like I said, is just having those guys that have kind of been around, know what it takes, and can lead by example.
We've talked to a few other coaches, and being junior B, guys have busy lives and they have a lot going on, balancing school and work and then travel. And so how does your team support players and work with players to overcome some of those things that might come up in the season and when they get busy, or other things take priority in their lives? Because junior B it's a tough league.
Guys are busy, and like I said, I played junior A, and I don't think the workload is as heavy as these guys. I wasn't working full-time jobs while I played junior hockey, so I mean, you just got to accommodate as much you can. I mean, this last week we had a practice on a Sunday because guys were home from school, and guys were off work in the evening, so we had a practice on a Sunday. So kind of just planning on the fly almost to try to see what works for these guys. But I mean, like you said, work and school take priority sometimes, and guys got to miss for certain things like that, which is all right. And we just got to do our best to kind of plan around it.
Absolutely. The community of Wainwright and the culture of the team has, been firmly established, that we talked about before. And, one of the fortunate things that you came on to as the bench boss and get to carry that on. So how are you building on that team identity, and how is the community involvement and the engagement of the local fan base there contribute to the team?
I mean, community wise, like I said earlier, I was born and raised in Wainwright, and I've always been very proud to be from this town. We got some awesome people in this town, volunteer wise. There's been people around the Bisons that volunteer their time and do a bunch of things for a long time. My younger brother played 5 years for the Bisons, 10 years ago, and they're still, the same people around putting in their time, doing everything behind the scenes that makes this team go. Culture wise, I mean, I've only been around for 3 years. That's been years and years and years of building. I think Huck's started coaching the Bisons 10 years ago, maybe around that time. So I think it would have started then, and it just gets passed down, to certain players. And then myself coming in, right, I have a little bit of a background of hockey, and then I come in and I see how things are done, right? So you just try to keep that culture and that tradition going year in and year out, and do what you can.
Okay, well, Coach, I really appreciate your time joining us. I'm really happy that we can get Wainwright on the podcast and represent you guys. And I'm looking forward to heading down there sometime with Dwayne and getting into the barn and hopefully testing out some of the concession food. But I'll maybe hit you up for recommendations later on.
Yeah, sounds good.
I appreciate your time and good luck with the rest of the season. And we'll see you next time we get down there. You guys head back up to Cold Lake.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me on.
Up next, we hear from one of the Bison's anchors, a player who's been through it all, the big wins and the long bus rides.
Yeah, Luke Greenwood is the kind of veteran that every coach wants. He's experienced, he's reliable, and he's still hungry to compete.
No, for sure. Let's jump into that conversation with Luke Greenwood of the Wainwright Bisons.
All right, I'm here in the basement of the Cold Lake Energy Center with Luke Greenwood, Wainwright Bisons. Thanks for joining me. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, as a veteran player that also had some time as an underager, as an affiliate with the team, just talk to me about how the season's going so far.
Yeah, we kind of came off to a little bit of a colder start, kind of dropping our first 3 games there, but we came around pretty good lately, and yeah, it's going good so far.
So tell us over your experience, what it's been like, as a young guy coming in and then, making the team as a rookie, even though you weren't in the second year playing. What's your impression of the organization so far?
Well, it's top notch, obviously. It comes from the top down. Our GM, Adam Huxley, gets guys to come every year, top guys that you wouldn't think are going to show up. And yeah, he puts a winning team on the ice every year. So we're really, really lucky.
Now, where'd you grow? Did you grow up in Wainwright? And
I'm actually from Provost.
Okay, so tell me, what was minor hockey, and who did you play with in Provost there?
Well, I grew up I played at the Provost Blades growing up, and then in Bantam I went to Wainwright for a year to play AA, and then in U16 year I went to Lloyd, and then back to Wainwright for the last 2 years of midget.
Now, as a veteran on the team, you got some rookies this year. You got some newer players. What have you been doing to bring up those guys in the locker room and in the dressing room and get them on board with the program?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is to kind of groom them into the winning mindset, right? Like, a lot of these guys haven't won anything before, and that's obviously our goal, is to come in here and win every game, win every year, right? So that's kind of the biggest thing, kind of get them groomed and get them ready for each and every game.
Now, you talked about the start of the season, and then I was just talking with Coach Connor. He said that you guys are trending up. So what's the difference now as opposed to the beginning of the season? What have you guys been doing to have that upward trend?
Well, I think some of our guys, like some of the newer guys, rookies and everything, they kind of have to get used to the fact that just because you're wearing the Bison sweater doesn't mean you're going to win every game. We got to come in here and we have to work each and every game. So yeah, and just finding line combinations and kind of gelling with the guys and kind of just growing as a team altogether.
Now, you talk about the rookies and bring them on and getting into the mindset. Do you have a rookie, and who is your rookie?
I do. It's Brecken Smith.
Tell me about him.
He's been pretty good so far. Yeah, he does what he's told. He doesn't complain. He's a good kid. We're lucky
Is he
to
a
have him.
good singer?
We haven't got him to sing yet. That might be tonight.
Okay.
We got the speaker on the bus.
Okay, good. So yeah, a little bit of karaoke for the ride home.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Overall, the season's been going well. You got that upward trend now. You got your rookie, under your arm, under your wing, so to speak. What's the next steps? What are you working with the team, over the next little while? Because it's a long season. It's a bit of a grind. Like, things happen. People have work and stuff like that. So how are you guys staying focused?
I think it just comes from the coaches. They get us ready for every game, right? They come in, they pump us up. We got to do obviously our part as the vets, kind of to establish that we need to be strict and we can be loose before games and whatever. But when it comes to right before puck drop, she's go time. So
what we always do when we do interviews with players is we do a bit of a rapid fire. So just really quick answers. First thing that comes to mind. We'll keep it clean here and respectful still. So we've got less than a minute. Pull the goalie. Looking to tie it up, and again, a fake game here. I know you want that shot, but if there's one other guy that you're going to pass to take that shot, who is it?
Riker Singer.
Pre-game rituals that you have. What's your pre-game meal?
Honestly, varies by the day. Like some days I can cook something at home. Mom might make me something, or some days it's straight from work to the rink. So probably more than often than not, Tim's.
Okay. What is one? Do you have any pre-game or any game day superstitions?
I always tie my left skate before my right.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Describe the Wainwright Bisons in one word.
Fearless.
Favorite rink besides your own to play in the league?
Probably Lloyd's new one.
It's pretty fancy.
Yeah.
Did you wear sunglasses?
Yeah.
That screen is blinding. Goal song for the Bisons this year?
I don't even think we have one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Our music lady kind of just plays one.
Okay. On your team, who on your team has that hockey brain and should be a coach later in life?
Jackson Angletwit.
Good. You're stranded on a road trip somewhere between Two Hills and Vermilion. Who starts the entertainment?
I would have to say probably Jackson Angletwit.
Okay, sounds good. And how do you tape your twig?
I kind of go differently, but right now it's toe to heel and half blade. White tape.
Good. All right. Well, Luke, we appreciate your time. Thanks for letting us know about your season so far, and wish you all the best with the Bisons.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Dwayne, it's time to take a lap around the NEAJBHL because the action never stops even when we take a week off.
A lap? I don't know if I can make it halfway around the rink. That's right. Plenty of movement in the standings and some big performances, and a few teams starting to find their stride.
Let's get into it. Here's this week's Around the League.
All right, here we go. November 14th, we had Vermilion at Vegreville. Like I said before, Dwayne, the Vegreville Rangers starting a new head coach there a couple weeks back, and things seem to be turning around a little bit. Like I said, you're starting to see some more goals and stuff like that, but they came up against the Vermilion Tigers, which you look at the scoring the scoring board leaders, and you look at that, and it's just a rampant Vermilion Tigers. The Vermilion Tigers came into this one, a little roadworthy, and then they're kind of finishing up, coming into Vegreville, but taking the win 4-1 over the Vegreville Rangers. Pretty quiet game, not many goals scored, but even penalties wise, I wouldn't say that this was one that we had to speak about much. It was just Vermilion coming to town and doing what they do.
Yeah, I'm just looking. Foxy, of course, continuing doing great things. Amazing save percentage. Didn't face a lot of rubber.
No, I think the shots.
19 shots.
19 shots on net, but, holding his own, right? Only allowing one goal. That's when you can hold it to one or less, you're probably going to end up with a dub.
Yeah, and I think we keep sounding like a broken record when we say Ian Cook and Toutant and Kapchak and Michael John and then Rogan McNabb as the setup man in that game. Looks like it was another great game for those guys. Those guys are clearly having a bit of fun out there.
Yeah, you betcha. Off to Cold Lake.
All righty.
Last game of Friday night saw the Lloyd Bandits come to town to face hometown Cold Lake Ice. It was a little bit of a slow start, I'd say, for the Ice. But towards the end of the first period and going into the second, they tried to fight back and claw back into it. But I think that third goal there in the third or second period there kind of knocked the wind out of their sails and allowed Lloyd to a 4-2 win. Obviously, looking at the shots, Lloyd peppered the goaltender there, throwing 38 shots his way. But for only allowing 4 shots, that's outstanding in what you could say was kind of a lopsided game. Like I said, Cold Lake being in their home barn, you think they would come out strong in the first period. Just kind of hung around, and that's why you saw Lloyd go out to that 2-0 lead. But coach must have had something to say in the second period because they came out right away and scored. But like I said, Lloyd just kind of keeps bringing the puck up and down the ice consistently and getting those shots on net, and they're going to make it through.
Yeah, maybe a familiar story to when we went down and watched the Ice play. Lots of fight to the end, literally. Gascoigne there, get into things a little bit, but lots of fight. But the Bandits proved to be too much.
Yeah, no, I'd say the game in Lloyd, the Ice probably hung in there a lot longer. Compared to the game here at home where you think they would have a little more pep in their steps. So with that being said, we'll move on to Saturday night.
The Clancy Richard Arena, the St. Paul Canadien hosting Vermilion Tigers. We're kind of just like, what's going on here? So just to start off, kudos to the Canadiens for putting on a strong performance. Must have been the poutine or their pregame meal. Must have been something like tourtière or something really good French-Canadian food there.
Yeah, it's odd to see. We're always talking about how Vermilion's coming in and doing what they do, but looks like St. Paul came to play that night.
Yeah, and must be a really big confidence booster for those boys. Even though they're kind of mid-bottom of the league here, now with lots of time left, looks like if they can put in a good effort, they can take on just about anybody here.
Yeah, you betcha. Like Boston Carter had a outstanding performance there, only allowing two goals on 30 shots. Good on him and the boys in front of him stepping up and must have been playing some tough D. Penalty wise, doesn't like the third period looks a little silly, but all in all, pretty tame game. And like you said, the home team usually has the advantage in this, and looks like St. Paul took that advantage and it took a little claw out of the Tiger. Yeah,
it seems like the majority of penalties in the third are for St. Paul, but looks like that helped them with momentum, and they're able to pot 2 goals in the third and secure the victory there. So good job, Canadien.
Yeah, and they're off to Cold Lake this coming Friday.
Yeah.
The second game of Saturday night there saw Lloyd traveling from Cold Lake down to Killam to face the Wheat Kings, where in the first period, the Bandits put up a 5 spot. You put 5 in the first period, you think you're going to want to run away with it, but the Wheat Kings didn't give up, putting 3 in as well. So pretty lively first period, and then things kind of tamed down after that with Lloyd only getting 1 in the second, and Killam kind of closing the gap to a 6-5 game going into the third, where Lloyd put it away, winning this game 7-5. Shots
Hattie.
on
Adrian. Bugera. Bugs.
Buggy's got
Hattie.
Good job, Bugs.
Yeah.
There's Tanner Sheets in there as well for the Killam Wheat Kings. Like I said, he's one of the contenders for best mugshot for sure.
My goodness, Tanner.
But, both teams came to play, throwing 40-plus shots at each other's net. Great job by, the Lloyd by just, we're on the road. Another tough barn to go into with Killam and, just going to work. Great performance on Lloyd. Carvan Stewart with 4 assists. That's a big night in the Junior B when you can throw up that many points. Everyone else, just hanging in there with the 2s and 3s. Like Bugera got his 3 goals, but a good job on them. Stewart got the start again. He got the start again in Cold Lake, so it was back-to-back nights and playing well. You look at the team coming out of Killam, same thing. 3 players. You got Dylan. I'm going to say Crotchen.
Yeah, maybe.
Crutchen. And Carter Hogman, both with 3 points. So other than that, there's a good supporting cast to keep those teams rolling.
Yeah. So kudos to Killam for staying in it, and great job by the Bandits to carry on.
Keep rolling. So our last game, this one kind of hurts for me, Dwayne. What about you, Chet?
Yeah, I wish I could have been there.
Yeah, see what kind of unfolded. We're going all the way down to the Vegreville Recreation Center to watch Cold Lake Ice drop a game in overtime to the Rangers. Looking at the score line here. Both teams kind of putting up that goose egg in the first period, and you're kind of going, okay, no, it's going to be one of those games where the Ice are going to come and just kind of chip away and go, but that wasn't the case, where Callum Stewart potted 2 goals almost 3 minutes apart in the second period for Vegreville, popping them out to a 2-0 lead when Josh Butt decided to pot some goals himself. He got 2 goals almost a minute and a half apart, so good on you, Josh. And then one of the rookie standouts so far, Cody Pickowitz, making it a 3-2 lead, and you're thinking that, that's going to be it. The Ice are going to keep rolling come the third period. And then Ashton Butts kind of deflates that balloon and ties it up 3-3 on a power play goal.
Yeah, so much similar to what happened, 2 weeks ago with the Bisons and Cold Lake, but opposite, where Cold Lake hold on, and then they get the overtime win. Man, just not going the way they were hoping with this game.
No, so going into that overtime, about halfway through the first overtime period there, Rylan Dubitz,
sure.
Well, Dubitz becomes a hero in Vagtown, and pots that overtime winner, giving the Rangers their first win of the season.
Yeah, so they're 1-14 now, and now the boys, the Ice, are going to have to face the music a bit in practice this week, I'm sure, with Coach Scott.
Yeah, talking with Hoodsy, 2 weeks ago, he mentioned how he wants to get that consistency, and right now we're just not seeing that. Nothing to say about like the penalties and stuff like that. There wasn't many, fairly even. It looks like we did get in some trouble late in the third, and then even in overtime we got some I don't know, I don't want to call them reckless, but you see Carter Breen with 2 10-minute penalties in there in the overtime, and that's it's going to be tough as a leader to kind of talk your way out of that one.
Yeah, spent a lot of time in the box. Looking there, first period, second period, and third period. So, yeah, when your leader's sitting in the box, it's kind of tough to get the rest of the boys going. So we wish the Ice all the best this coming weekend.
Yeah, for sure. They got some tough games coming up, and I'll be in the barn for some of those. I'll try to, maybe touch base with some of those players and some of the visiting teams coming in. But Chet, you're on the road. I hear you're going a little south in Quebec for volleyball tournamenta.
Yeah, I'm going to be driving the coach bus with the volleyball team and just see how it goes with the team.
Is that the Chicoutimi Bearcats?
Yeah, I think it's whatever. I'll ask my kid and see. I just go and support and cheer. So
with that wraps up our Around the League for this week.
Well, Dwayne, we got through it. We're back, and that wraps up episode 8. Big thanks to Coach Connor James and Luke Greenwood for joining us and giving us a peek inside the Bisons barn.
Yeah, no, for sure. Always a pleasure, chatting up with that crew. The Bisons continue to set a standard of consistency in the NEAJBHL.
Folks, we're going to enjoy some games this weekend, but we'll be back next week with more stories, more highlights, and maybe another round of rinkside reviews.
I can't wait. Thanks for tuning in. And now you have the breakdown.
The Northeast Junior B Breakdown is brought to you by the Cold Lake Ice, supporting junior hockey and the players, coaches, and fans who make this league so much fun to follow. Chet and Dwayne are fictional characters created for entertainment purposes only. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or deceased, is purely coincidental.